How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Um, don't sweat the small stuff. That's what the title of this video is. Don't sweat the small stuff. If you're talking about when you, as a individual, you trying to have the confidence to do anything, right? A lot of times, what we end up doing is we literally sweat the small stuff. It can be something as simple as somebody cuts you off on the road and suddenly it ruins your entire day. But you don't have, first of all, the confidence to actually do anything about it. But if you don't have confidence or self-esteem, a lot of times you're actually gonna ask yourself if you were responsible for that, which is bonkers. So there's a fine line of letting things bother you, taking responsibility for stuff that you do, and then there's that middle ground where you start taking responsibility or blaming yourself for something that you are not responsible for. And we as a society, or we as human beings, tend to be broken apart into two very distinct groups, right? There's those who are as people say about us Canadians, we're very nice and apologetic, right? Well, she's
sorry, yes.
So yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where we don't really sweat the small stuff up here in Canada. I know a lot of people don't. It's not just something that people say. We don't. I mean, if something happens, walk away from it. It's not a big deal. Move on. Don't let it ruin your day or someone else's day. But I find that majority of the Canadians, up here in Canada at least, the majority of Canadians do have quite a bit of high self-esteem and high self-confidence to a certain degree, I think. More so than in some of the other countries I've seen. And I think that's why they don't let the small things bother them as much. So we will say sorry even though it's not our fault per se, but that's because it doesn't bother us. Like, people make mistakes, and I think people understand that. And for me, for example, I have, like a lot of you out there, I got my moments, right? If my day is already rough and tough and everything else, maybe I'll let things bother me. But then I remember, okay, stop. You have to relax. You have to chill out. But then again, I am on the opposing scale, right? Where I am stupid confident and my self-esteem is always high. So I take things almost personally at that point. And it's the negative side of having a lot of confidence, I should say.
But I think even somebody with a low self-esteem will take things too personally from time to time.
I think people with low self-esteem take it upon themselves as if it's their fault, right? Everything, somehow they find everything to be they become very defensive, right? Where if your self-esteem isn't high enough, what ends up happening is anytime somebody says or questions you or anything like that, you end up putting it almost like as a insult, right? Because, like, why are you asking? Why are you questioning me? Or it becomes very defensive, and that is the negative side of having low self-esteem. You become defensive very quickly because you take it upon yourself, thinking that everything is your fault. When you raise your self-esteem, you have the ability to recognize what's your fault and what's not, and you have the ability to walk away from an issue or walk away from a problem. And this, of course, doesn't apply to everything, but it applies to quite a few things in your life. So you have to just ask yourself, how often do you take things up too hard, and how often do you misconstrue what's being said to you or what's been done, right? A good example of that is, let's say your friend, says, hey, how come you didn't call me yesterday? Well, you can take that in a very personal way and go, well, geez, I have a life, I can't just keep calling you or whatever. I didn't even know you wanted me to call you, or somewhere along those lines, where it becomes about you when your friend simply asked you a question. There was nothing, no hidden agenda there, right? Well, if you got so low self-esteem, you're going to do that almost every time. Whereas people who have more confidence or more self-esteem, they're going to be like, I didn't call you because I had things to do. What's up with that, right? Like, it's not a big deal. Sorry, let's move on, right? End the story. So this is very important in that sense to understand. When you start sweating the small stuff, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it. It really is, because the small things sometimes have bigger impact on us than the big things, right? You get into an accident, somebody hits you from behind, or you hit somebody because, whoops, sorry, it's an accident, it happens, move on, call your insurance, deal with it, accept responsibility for your actions, right? Or expect someone else to accept responsibility for their actions. Or you can go the other way, where even though somebody might have hit you, now you're just starting to question yourself. Wait, did I do something wrong? Am I the one that's at fault here? And I find this happening with people where they sweat this small stuff because, believe it or not, that's a small thing. It's not a big deal. That accidents happen every day. But when you start sweating the small stuff, then now you start questioning whether or not you were responsible for this, or maybe you could have done something different to prevent an accident, even though somebody clearly hit you. And you might put yourself, and I've seen this happen firsthand, where somebody put themselves in a situation where they ended up accepting responsibility for an accident that was not theirs. And then, yes, I happen to know that this person is severely low on confidence, and we ended up helping them out, but their self-esteem was always low. They were always thinking they were in the wrong no matter what the situation was. And this is where it's a good way of saying it. Like, don't sweat the small stuff. The small stuff happen. Lots and lots of small things happen every darn day. And if you focus on it, or you take it upon yourself to focus on those things, you waste a lot of energy, and you're going to allow all that stuff to bother you and ruin your entire day from morning to night, right? So don't let those kind of things bother you. Don't let these tiny things bother you. Just approach every situation for what it is, and genuinely for what it is. You spill your cup of coffee, well, don't stress, chill out. It happens, move on, right? It's not the end of the world. But I know people who spill a cup of coffee, and now it's on their pants or on their clothes, and oh my God, how are people going to see me? And you spilled a cup of coffee on yourself. Oh well, crap happens. That's just the way it is. But again, it goes back to that confidence issue, right? Because if you're confident, you make fun of that situation throughout the whole day, and then you turn something like spilling coffee on your clothes, and you have to live with it the whole day, you twist it into a positive thing. You don't let it bother you, right? At least that's what I would do, right? The more confidence you have, the more you're going to end up doing that, where you're going to, I'll just make fun of it the whole day, where I'll just go, hey guys, you know what? And this is what happens when you're being clumsy. And then I'll make some stupid jokes about it because it's fun. And my whole day, I didn't sweat it. I didn't let it bother me. Instead, I actually made the best of it, the situation. And it's a situation that, oh well, right?
Or you could just be saying that you were wearing coffee perfume so that you could smell coffee all day.
Exactly. See, you make a joke out of it. And the whole day is going to be fun and frankly, it's probably going to be fun for months to come, because now your coworkers or your friends or whatever, they're all going to bug you about it. You know that. Every time you pick up a cup of coffee, they can be, oh wait, is the coffee perfume thing again? But that's one way to look at it. What the opposing side to that is, you're gonna sweat the situation, and you're gonna let it bother you, and a whole day you're gonna drag everybody else down with you, right? It all depends. It all comes down to confidence, and many things you do in your life, you're affected severely by how confident you can be in your actions, your words. If your self-esteem is low, you're going to take a lot of that stuff onto yourself and make things worse than they are. If your self-esteem is high, like I said, you're going to just make fun of the situation, and it is what it is, and make the best of it. That's the only thing you can truly do at the end of the day. You don't have to take it too far, but at the same time, you do have to understand you need to build up a resistance to stupidity. You need to build up a resistance to, things just happen. And you need to build up a resistance to accidents. I'm not saying be blind to them. I'm just saying, when you can't do shit about it, don't worry about it. It just is. Things happen every day. We're humans. We're not perfect. We're far from perfect. And we do dumb things. But that's really where You need to be confident enough to say, hey, that's what happens. That's life. Life is a funny thing. And yeah, as long as you can build up your confidence, as long as you can build up your self-esteem, you'll be fine. You'll look at things in a different manner and in a more happy manner. You turn all negatives into a form of a positive. And you won't have to worry about many things in life. They just come and go. That's how life is. Things come and go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video helped. If it did, let me know in the comment section. And if it didn't, let me know in the comment section why. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Till then, have yourselves a wonderful day or night or whenever the heck you're watching this. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.